My husband almost killed me last night. Yes, it is that bad, but before you start calling for his head, please listen. My husband is an Iraq war veteran. Spent almost 750 days there. This was way before I met him. When he came back and was finally discharged, he suffered from severe night terrors where he'd wake up screaming. Years of therapy and getting a service dog helped him out tremendously, and the night terrors and blackouts became less and less. We started dating towards the end of his treatment with the doctors, so I never really saw him at his worst. When we first slept together, he warned me that it could potentially happen, and the best thing for me to do is to not touch him when it's happening, to let it ride itself out. Well, it did not happen for the first, say, 18 months of us dating, until one night while we were visiting my sister and brother-in-law it happened. I did what he said and backed away from him and waiting for him to come back down to earth. It lasted maybe a minute or two, I'm not sure, but watching him suffer like that was heartbreaking to see. It happened again a few months later, and this time it was worse. It lasted maybe a whole 10 minutes. It felt like hours, but it did eventually end. It has been almost 5 years since it has happened again, until last night. Last night I was awoken by him tossing and turning and mumbling military talk. I went over and started to talk to him in a soft voice to try and help him get through it. Then I made the mistake, I touched him to try and wake him up out of it. It had been so long I had forgotten what he had told me. He shot up, and the next thing I knew he had his hands around my throat and he was squeezing as hard he could. I was truly terrified. I could not breathe and it felt like my head was gonna explode. I think it lasted maybe 30-45 seconds before he came around and realized what was going on and stopped, but my God, was that the scariest moment of my life. I truly thought I was going to die, because moments before he stopped I was starting to lose consciousness and everything was going white. He immediately apologized and hugged me and helped me catch my breath. This was around 5 and so we really didn't get a chance to go to sleep. We were both so shaken up. He brought me to urgent care this morning to have me looked at. My neck looks like someone tried to hang me. I have burst blood vessels in my eyes and I have a terrible headache. I am wearing a turtleneck to hide the marks, but there is nothing I can do about the eyes. I know he didn't mean it and he has apologized profusely, but holy shit, I am scared of him now. I spoke to his mother and she told me that he did this once to his father a while ago, but his father, being a man, was able to kinda subdue him. I had no chance. His 6'5", 230 lobs of muscle. I'm afraid to tell people because I don't want them to judge him or get angry with him, but at the same time I want to talk about it because it was truly scary. I've scheduled an appointment with my sister's therapist, which I use from time to time, but am still in so much shock. I'm not going to lie, there is a small part of me who is angry at him for doing this. Am I a bad person for feeling angry? And my loving husband, a man who has not once raised his voice at me, never mind lay his hands on me in the 8 years we've known each other. I know it wasn't his fault and I myself did touch him when he told me not to, but I am feeling resentful towards him and it makes me sad. Why I'm sharing this, maybe just to vent and to see if anyone else has experienced this.